More skaction going on in San Antonio, Texas, as the University of Dallas Crusader take on the Trinity Tigers here in the 4th conference game of the year for these two squads. Trinity coming off of a nice dominant win over Austin College, 89-54. Meanwhile, Dallas trying to look for a pickup game after losing in Kerrville to Schreiner, 83-76. I am Reed Rosales, joined with me, Luke Terry. And Luke, we certainly have a very interesting starting five matchup today, don't we?
Absolutely, and leading up to this game, we got to hear a little bit about this Crusaders squad and kind of what makes them unique. A big part of that is how much they rely on kind of a non-typical number of players, really 6 guys that get the bulk of the run. As you might imagine, it's going to be the 5 guys on the court to start them off. But for this Trinity team, they like to use a lot of players, like to get out and run really for the duration of the game. So it's going to be a little bit of a test of attrition, which of these two teams can really run all day long.
Jack Boyle versus Braxton Berry, 0 versus 0, and Boyle wins the tip, and we are underway here in San Antonio. And the Crew looking to make good of their first possession. They've been very good in the first half so far this season. And try to get it into the paint. Jamal Leftwich trying to find number 2, Marcus Juarez. Ends up out of bounds, but the Crew keep the ball.
And a kickball violation on Christian Green right there, resetting the shot clock to 20 seconds. Trinity in their zone did a nice job of forcing that one side to side. Not a ton of openings for Dallas early right there.
Johnny Olmstead spins around, gets it to his brother, now to Boyle. Boyle working his way in the paint, and a travel called on Jack Boyle. And the Tigers will certainly have a tall task ahead of them. The premier post is Jack Boyle, 18 points per game, 10 rebounds per game. They've had success stopping star players, and Boyle will certainly be another challenge. Meanwhile, Christian Green gets a nice pass over to Braxton Berry. Berry can't put it in the first time, tries to rebound his missed shot, unable to. Crew come away with it. Right now having a 5-on-4. Boyle gets it over. The shot will not fall for Jamal Leftwich. Tigers back on offense. Christian Green driving in, kicks it out to Millhouse with the open 3, and he drains it. So Tigers hit a 3 and go up early on here in the first half.
We haven't seen Millhouse shoot a ton from the outside early this year, but we know he is more than capable of knocking those down. Great job of just getting his feet set, taking that dribble to set himself for the shot, and he knocked it down in rhythm.
Leftwich with another 3 attempt. That one won't fall. And a Crew ball. Tigers thought Marcus Juarez got a hand on it and hit it out. But nope, the Crusaders will keep the ball.
Read something you talked about a couple of possessions ago. Boyle being a challenge for this team and kind of a unique one. They've had some prominent players that they've been tasked with trying to slow down. They've been pretty good at it, but this is the first time you mention a post player that is the prolific guy to try and slow down. Haven't seen that yet this year, so going to be interesting to see how that guy right there just handling the ball, Braxton Berry, and his teammate who gave it to him, Christian Green, contribute in trying to slow Boyle down in this one.
Jamal Leftwich was the one to get the Crew on the board first, and UD will be the one to foul Braxton Berry. He steps to the charity stripe. Tigers with an opportunity to extend their lead a little bit, up 3-2. Berry misses the first one, bounces off the inside of the rim and out. And Berry waiting for the ball back. So another opportunity for Braxton Berry, 6'9" junior out of Houston, Texas. Hits his second free throw, so Tigers up by 2. Juarez to try and inbound it, and Tigers pressing very aggressively right now. Get it back to Johnny Olmstead. Olmsted's intended target was Jamal Leftwich, but interrupted by Millhouse. Hits it out of bounds, so Crusaders keep the ball.
And a good job of settling in right there, recognizing the pressure. Made some smart, solid passes in the backcourt. Got it across the timeline with plenty of time before that 10-second violation. Not something we've seen Trinity go to a lot, but deploying that press, ton of length in the backcourt. Christian Green has been very disruptive in this zone, so you see him on that side of the screen.
Jamal Leftwich trying to find an open man, does in the paint. That one won't go for Juarez. Boyle fighting for the rebound. Tigers have it. Up, they cough the ball up. Boyle comes away with it. Boyle spin move. And Jack Boyle doing it all himself, almost looking like a 5-on-1 there. Tigers come away with it. Tanner Brown driving it in the paint. Kicks it out to Millhouse. Takes a three. That one doesn't fall. Whistle blown.
Both ends of the court right now. This Trinity team doing a great job of just getting bodies in the paint on the other end, making Boyle's job incredibly difficult. He had a couple of opportunities on some tip putbacks. He just had too much contact on the body, couldn't really get himself set. And then Braxton Berry creating another opportunity for the offense once he got fouled right there on that offensive rebound.
And Braxton Berry loses the ball for a moment, but Christian Green able to recover it. Green trying to drive in. Braxton Berry from the top of the key. That one doesn't fall. Rims out. So now the Crew with the chance to respond. Leftwich trying to dish it into Juarez. Gets it to him. Olmsted. And Johnny Olmsted gets the bucket. So we are tied 4-4. Millhouse trying to take it himself. Unable to get the layup. Difficult shot to be sure. And now Boyle trying to lead the Crew to their first lead of the game. Crew will maintain possession as that one went off of a Tiger.
But a ton of ball movement early on from the University of Dallas. A lot of passing side to side. A lot of movement off the ball. Great job not trying to force the issue too much with Boyle on these early possessions. Just trying to find space on the court to generate open shots, but great defensive pressure from Millhouse right there, turning into the breakaway layup. Harvey with a nice shot high off the glass right there, finds a way to get that one to go.
So the Olmsted bros passing it back and forth between each other decided to interrupt their fun. The Crew playing down once again. Juarez, a nice turnaround shot, but does not go in. So Tanner Brown driving quick. That one rejected by Leftwich, and now wide open. Zach Olmsted gets the layup, so we are tied 6-6 once again.
And good play in transition from Olmsted right there. Maybe cognizant of Braxton Berry streaking behind him. Turned on the jets, made sure he accelerated to get to the basket and lay it up before the big man could chase it down.
Christian Green responds with a layup of his own as the pace moving a bit quicker now. Nearly 5 minutes into the first half. Juarez gets the shot in the paint in, so 8-8 as both sides trading blows. Christian Green hands it over to Berry. Berry hands it up to Millhouse. Millhouse kicks back out to Harvey. Harvey over to Millhouse, trying to find Christian Green, and he does. Green working his way into the paint. That shot won't go though. So the Crew have another opportunity to get their first lead of the game. Olmsted, Johnny Olmsted gets it up to Leftwich. Over to Boyle. Boyle works it into Olmsted. That shot won't fall, and rebound goes to the Tigers. Johnny Olmsted had a couple of nice looks, but now Jacob Harvey working his way down the court with Trinity. Jacob Millhouse allowing the Tigers to get set on offense.
Christian Green giving that one up, and already we've seen him with a couple of early looks. Juarez in defense right now doing a nice job of checking him. Braxton Berry giving him the screen to work off of. A little bit of contact down low. You have to see. I think that's coming against Berry on that rebound attempt. So it'll be on the baseline after this first stoppage in play, first media timeout of the afternoon. But in those early touches from Christian Green, Juarez did a really nice job. Has good size, stayed in front really well of the young freshman, who's been great at getting around his defenders. Juarez a little bit wider, did a nice job of showing his veteran experience, staying down in front. Christian Green trying to work and operate a little bit differently, rising up over the top and some post play, trying to back down Juarez, but he stood right there behind him, forced a difficult shot. Great play early on by the Crusader defensively.
And now we're going to go down to our courtside reporter, Caleb Reed. Caleb, what are you seeing on the court?
Microphone had a bit of an issue, but yeah, one thing that I noticed last night about the game against Austin was that early on in the game, the shots really were not falling, and you could definitely see some of the frustration on the players' faces, especially from down here in our position. But even though this is a very low-scoring start to the game, the Dallas players aren't really reacting the same as the Austin players. Despite the shots not falling, they are remaining very cool and collected. And so that will definitely be something to look at more towards the end of the game as the fatigue starts to set in. And of course, this game continues on.
Thank you, Caleb. Now, out of the timeout, Jacob Harvey will be the ones to find a Tiger to inbound it to. We'll see who he turns to. He chucks it up for Millhouse. Millhouse gets it over to Harvey. Thought about taking a quick three, but good defense by Olmsted. And now Harvey, once again, having to contend with Olmsted. Juarez against Green. Braxton Berry gets it to Millhouse. Millhouse over to Brown. Christian Green driving it in. 1 second on the shot clock. Does not roll in, but Christian Green gets the putback points, and Tigers are on top again.
And it's something that we talked about with Coach Smith ahead of this weekend. I think the first couple of games that this Trinity team played at home, we saw Christian Green score in two different affairs. The first of those, he went and attacked off the bounce, took his defender one-on-one. The next day, he got checked really, really effectively, but off the ball, he created opportunities by cutting, by getting offensive boards, exactly what he did just there, and showing his prowess on the defensive end as well. A nice block against Boyle, even though he had an advantage.
Millhouse with the three, sinks it. So 13-8. Timeout will hit the floor as I'm sure Coach Matt Braun of UD does not want the Tigers to get too much momentum on their side. And with that quick timeout, gonna talk things over. Meanwhile, don't want to forget to mention two subs that Dallas made. Kelton Coleman, who has been a freshman out of Fort Worth, Texas, made a big impact for UD. 14 points per game is what the freshman has to start off his collegiate career. And number 25, Louis Cristofano Jr., a senior out of Overland Park, Kansas. So two bench players coming in for UD. Meanwhile, the Trinity starting five still out on the court. Come out of the timeout. Juarez. It's his job to find one of the Olmsted bros. He does. And now Coleman gets it over to Cristofano. Over to Juarez, open three. And that one just short. Boyle does it himself. And will get the and one.
And Boyle doing a great job of just remaining really patient right there, catching that air ball underneath the basket, recognizing that this is a Trinity team for a couple of possessions in a row now that's really tried to block his shot. Sold him, got him off the ground with a pump fake, remained very, very gathered right there, went up, despite that contact at the very end, was able to finish it.
Abdullah Roberts and Dean Balo on the floor now for the Tigers. As Boyle hits the and one. Tigers move it quickly down the court. Balo. We'll see who he puts it to. Abdullah Roberts is his choice. He defers it over to Brown. Back to Roberts. Roberts tries to work it in. Brown with the three, and he sinks it. So Tigers are being very efficient from the perimeter to start things off.
And a great make from Tanner Brown right there. Offensively operating in very close quarters. Roberts trying to dribble penetrate His teammate was just a couple feet away from him. That was Coleman defending Brown, who dug down to help defensively just a bit, but he was still within arm's range. Didn't matter for Tanner Brown. Caught that one, made the decision that he was going to let it fly, attached it from the corner.
They give it to Olmstead. Olmstead over to Coleman. Coleman gets it to Cristofano Jr. Tries to dish it in to TJ Williams. But unfortunately, connection not quite there. So Tigers get an opportunity off of a turnover. Brown up to Roberts. In the paint to Green. Christian Green just short on the short shot attempt. So Boyle drives it right past Green. Some smooth moves by Jack Boyle. Olmstead can't get the shot to fall, but a great putback by TJ Williams off of the errant shot from Zach Olmstead. So now 16-13, the Crusaders keeping it close. Brown with a quick three, and he sunk it. So lead extended yet again for the Tigers.
Trinity really feeling it from the outside to start this game off. 8 minutes off the board here in San Antonio. Already 4 makes, a couple for Millhouse, a couple now for Tanner Brown, and the pressure really mounting on the defensive end. Momentum starting to swing that way for Trinity, and it's going to force another timeout.
19-13 the score. Tigers 4 for their last 5 shots. And early on here, both teams have been very competitive to start things off. Last time when the Crew came here, they had nearly 30 turnovers. Certainly want to clean that stat up if they want to have a better chance. Tigers haven't turned the ball over once today, while the Crew have had 4 turnovers of their own. But oddly enough, only 2 points from those turnovers. So Trinity not making efficient use of those turnovers so far, but you have to assume with that zone D that they'll start forcing more eventually.
Yeah, it feels like Dallas has really come into this one ready for everything Trinity's thrown at them. Obviously, when we threw it down to Caleb, he talked about the start to yesterday's game and how it was a little bit deflating for Austin College. They couldn't really get things to fall. When we threw it down to Caleb, it was an 8-8 game here in Calgard. Dallas coming out ready to play, even on those transition opportunities off of the turnovers. UD was doing a really good job of running up and down the court, getting back, making sure Trinity's not getting any easy buckets to start this one off.
UD started off their conference play with a huge win over St. Thomas, 81-78. They lost to Centenary the next day, 91-87, really showcasing the parity that the SCAC has this year. Brown with another 3 attempt, and he sinks it. Brown on fire yet again at 22-13. Crew really looking for a response now.
And you can see at the bottom of your screen right now, Johnny Olmstead a little bit gimpy. He was behind the play, still walking a little bit gingerly. You see that steal, that takeaway that does directly turn into points off the turnover. Things starting to mount just a little bit more for the Crusaders. Another turnover in transition right there.
And right now, Trinity 5 for 6 from beyond the arc. We'll see if they keep taking shots from beyond the perimeter. Zach Fenn, the chaos creator, gets it to Williams. Now to Brown. Tanner Brown trying to find Williams, instead gets intercepted by Boyle. Olmstead gets the layup home. Johnny Olmstead, Abdullah Roberts, and the Tigers quickly down the court. Abdullah Roberts gets it up to Balo. Brown with the quick 3. That one is airmailed. So the Crew have a chance to cut into this deficit. They are down by 9. Boyle, Euro step, and he gets it in. Jack Boyle showing why he averages 18 points per game with moves like that. Zach Fenn quickly putting one up. Abdullah Roberts trying to get the putback. Whistle blown.
Yeah, referee saw that hand got grabbed when Abdullah Roberts went up for that putback. Kind of just limited his ability to get the basketball off. Gathered well, was ready to go up again, but instead will get 2 shots at the free throw line. A last air ball from the corner from Tanner Brown. Certainly feels like he is trying to ride that hot hand. Just didn't look like he got into his legs enough. Caught that one, and it was almost up towards the basket immediately. Didn't really take the time to gather.
Dula Roberts is 1 for 1 from the free throw line. And now the Crew driving it back. Olmsted gets it over to his brother, Johnny Olmsted. Trying to pass it into the paint through the legs of Michael Kennedy. So Tigers, another opportunity off of a turnover. Balo will be the conductor for this one. Doesn't hand it off to Harvey, keeps it himself. Trying to drive it in the paint, working and working against the Crusaders. Hands it off to Zach Fenn, kicking it out to Abdullah Roberts. Roberts doesn't hit the three, but Balo keeps it alive. What a play by the freshman. And that'll result in points off the second chance. Ty Williams.
I don't think anyone really on either side was expecting that. You had some Trinity players running down the other way. A lot of standing and watching by the guys in white jerseys. Balo with a great job just soaring out of bounds, doing everything he could to give Trinity an extra possession right there.
Crispano Jr. handed it over to TJ Williams, tried to drive it in the paint. Foul will be called.
Foul number 35, Zach Fenn.
That one gets tagged to Zach Fenn. Tigers up by 10, 27-17. The Crew really needing a bucket here.
A couple of changes being made. Millhouse back on the floor for Trinity. Juarez back on the court for the Crusaders. He's who catches the ball right here. Maybe a little bit of a deeper bench early on in this game than we anticipated, something we talked about in the open, but of course, both of these squads going at it in conference play last night. Second day of a back-to-back. Probably both teams going to utilize their bench a little bit more, trying to avoid that fatigue. Just one of the things you have to deal with when you're playing in conference.
Another missed three. Dallas 0 for 5 from beyond the arc. Has been quite the tale of two teams from three to start things off. Ty Williams with another nice short shot. Tigers go up by 12. Crew really needing an opportunity now to get a bucket. Olmsted hands it over to Cristofano Jr. Down to Johnny Olmsted. Cristofano Jr. and trying to penetrate will be Zach Olmsted. Gets it to his brother, and now Juarez surrounded by Tigers. The shot will go in thanks to Michael Kennedy. Not a lot of time left on the shot clock, had to put one up. 29-19, Tigers still leading. Ty Williams trying to drive it in. Has to contend with a ton of Crusaders. Get the benefit of a call, however.
Yeah, Williams just really trying to force the issue right there, going straight at his defender. It looked like Cristofano Jr. was doing a nice job, moving his feet, staying in front. Couldn't tell exactly from our angle. Maybe got a little bit of the arm or the wrist when he reached in there. At least that's what the referee saw instead of granting a jump ball.
Zach Fenn will come off for Tanner Brown. Tigers have broken 30 points here in the first half.
Based on that replay, Cristofano shielding the camera just a little bit. Looked at the at the last second, he ripped that ball out pretty cleanly. Maybe that contact previously from Kennedy being called.
And now the Crew. Johnny Olmsted hands it up to Ren Pizana. Now Marcus Juarez takes shot from within the arc, doesn't fall. It's up for grabs. Tigers ultimately come away with it. Balo puts up for three. That one off the back of the iron. It'll be Crew ball.
And one thing we're growing accustomed to from this Trinity squad is their willingness to shoot the three ball in transition. Seen that a couple of times already here today with Millhouse making one and Balo with another attempt right there.
And we'll send it back down to Caleb Reed with about 13 minutes into this first half. What are you seeing from both teams, Caleb?
Well, at the moment, one of the biggest things isn't what I'm seeing, but what I'm hearing. This crowd, you know, despite it being a game over the winter holidays, not a ton of students here. I'm not sure if you can see it behind me too well, but there are a lot of fans comparatively to what we saw last night. There are a lot of fans in the stands. You can see over there the University of Dallas women's basketball team, who we're going to be seeing later on in the afternoon. But there are a lot of fans here, despite all the dorms being closed, all the move-out finally being completed yesterday. So it is great to see such incredible turnout, despite the sort of inopportune timing of this game.
Thank you, Caleb. And it's certainly a good thing to see so much support for these Tigers, even when the holidays are very close around the corner. And this is the first time we've had games really directly after finals here at Trinity. So to go from the classroom to the court, certainly impressive for these student athletes.
Yeah, finals concluding just a couple of days ago for some of these players, and straight into conference games. So not just being back on the basketball court, but in a pretty meaningful capacity is certainly a change of pace.
Zach Olmstead driving it around, having to contend with Millhouse. Millhouse not letting up. Olmstead having trouble breaking through. Hands it over to Pisana. Pisana trying to get it to someone. And it's going to be Tiger ball. So a turnover opportunity for Trinity. Zach Olmstead, a graduate student related to Johnny Olmstead, transferred to Dallas just so he could play with his brother, as they weren't able to do so in high school. Christian Green now driving it in the paint. Good shot by Christian Green, puts the Tigers up just a bit further, 33-19 now.
A really quick move, catching that one, going straight to the baseline, then just rising up over the top of the defender. Seen that a couple of times there, a little bit better touch, was able to find the range and knock it home.
And the short shot is hit by the graduate student, Zach Olmstead. Millhouse gets it up to Ty Williams. Williams back to Millhouse. Millhouse trying to drive in. Hands it up to Christian Green. Green trying to show his speed. Loses the ball. It will remain Tiger basketball as Marcus Juarez has had a foot out of bounds.
And Christian Green shaking his hand pretty vehemently right there. A little bit of a smile on his face, I'm sure you can see. Probably thinking that that should have been a foul call, as Juarez doing a nice job of swiping down. Wasn't called for anything right there, but caused a lot of disruption.
And some fancy passing from the Tigers allows Jacob Harvey to get to 35-21, Tigers leading. Olmstead, Zach Olmstead gets it to his brother Johnny, and now trying to work it in the paint. That one will go for TJ Williams. So Jacob Harvey and the Tigers working really fast. Braxton Berry trying to get it to Christian Green. Bounces off of his arm, able to recover it. Green working it in, hits it out to Brown, and Tanner Brown sinks another three. And the Tigers cannot stop hitting threes, it seems.
Yeah, and that opportunity, a much better look for Tanner Brown. Trinity, one thing that Coach Smith has talked about, probably at its very best offensively when they get the ball in the paint and they get it moving from side to side, as we see another stop there and a pretty big collision between Millhouse and Williams. Millhouse a little bit slow to get up, rattled after that miss. You'll see the replay of it right here. Williams going for that ball, his arm just getting in there and getting Millhouse up around the face, but he's up off the ground now. Going back to that last offensive possession, a nice job of getting the basketball to one side, kind of cutting and driving across the lane, finding Tanner Brown, who then had a lot more of an opportunity to get his feet set, really get into his legs, and then he knocked that one down.
Green will inbound it to Jacob Harvey. Tigers up 38-23. Always looking to extend their lead. Handing it up to Braxton Berry. Berry over to Millhouse. Millhouse trying to find Berry and does, but Berry fumbles the ball thanks to the defense of TJ Williams. So Crew will get an opportunity to cut into the deficit they find themselves in. Now Johnny Olmsted hits up Marcus Juarez. Juarez over to Coleman. Coleman sinks the three. Kelton Coleman is certainly a player that the Crew want to get hot. It is 38-26 now. Three opportunity for Harvey. That one just short. Whistle blown. Crew will maintain possession.
And a foul going to go against Braxton Berry right there as he was crashing the boards hard. That'll just be his second of the afternoon, it looks like. So he'll come off the bench either way, make sure he doesn't pick up a third in the last about 5 minutes here of the first half. But Dallas still responding to pretty much every punch that Trinity has made thus far. 12-point deficit that they find themselves in, but continuing to play hard. This one very much in reach at this point in the game.
Coleman up to Zach Olmsted, dishes it into Williams, and the ball ping-pongs off of a couple players. Ultimately, the Tigers get a turnover. Brown unable to get the layup, and Juarez gets the rebound. Johnny Olmsted gets denied, and the Crew rebounded again. Another attempt, and that one will strike true for Johnny Olmsted. Some good defense by the Tigers, but the Crew proving scrappy. Three attempt, that one doesn't fall, and another rebound for the Crew.
And the last couple times down the court, defensively, UD doing a nice job of limiting Trinity to just one possession, and on this end, they've turned it into points a couple of times, but that one gonna be a foul on the loose ball going against Zach Olmsted, trying to chase down his own miss. But with under 4 here to go in San Antonio, we'll get another timeout on the court as Dallas has found a way to close this one within 10.
And when I noticed the two Olmsteds on the team, I had to ask Coach Grahn about it, how this happened. And Coach Grahn told me that this is a story that goes way back to when he saw their father playing when he was in junior high and their father was in high school. He saw him play high school ball at a rival high school. And the younger Olmsted, Johnny Olmsted, was his first commitment to UD when he took over coaching duties. And Zach Olmsted, he started off up in Minnesota, transferred down back home to play in community college, and then he went up to Alaska in Fairbanks to play for a couple years. And then when his brother ended up back in UD, he called Coach Grahn and asked, hey, can I get a place? And Coach Grahn was happy to comply, because originally he wanted to recruit the older Olmsted for an assistant coaching role, but instead Zach Olmsted wanted to play ball.
Yeah, I think it's certainly worked out based on the product we're seeing on the court right now. Olmsted brothers, two big contributors for this Crusaders squad, made their mark on this game already early on. And I'm sure they'll play a big role the rest of the way as the University of Dallas tries to continue to claw back into this one.
So Millhouse with these free throw opportunities. Tigers trying to quench a 2-minute scoring drought, and they do. 39-28 now. Tigers in the bonus after the last foul. We wait for the official to pass the ball back to Millhouse. And Jacob Millhouse going through his routine. Sinks them both. So Tigers up by 12. Juarez will be the one to try to find one of the Olmsted bros. Gets it to Johnny. Johnny Olmsted up to Zach Olmsted. Zach Olmsted back down to his brother. Younger brother to older brother. And now the quick three from Coleman. That one doesn't fall, but an offensive rebound for the Crusaders. TJ Williams nearly loses it. Back down to Zach Olmsted. Johnny Olmsted from within the arc. That one doesn't fall, and Tanner Brown will get the rebound for the Tigers as they're quickly moving down the court. Grant Jacobs, new face on the court for the Tigers. Dean Balo, that one doesn't fall from beyond the arc. Christian Green over to Tanner Brown. Brown spinning around, kicks it out to Jacobs. Thought about a three, thought better of it. Balo now in the paint, tries to hand it over to Christian Green and draws the foul. A wild series of events there.
And culminating in Balo somehow squeaking that one through the arms of the defender to find Christian Green, who got fouled. But what a pass by Balo to find his teammate just a couple feet from him, squeezing that one right through the wickets. You'll see it again right here. A lot of arms right in that passing lane.
Sure, it's one that UD wants back to get another attempt at. And right now, Trinity, a lot of their points have been coming from the free throw line. They haven't made a shot in the last 3 minutes. All their points have come via the charity stripe. Coleman getting it to Johnny Olmsted. Zach Olmsted now dishing it in. And the Tigers force another turnover. And Trinity looking to get some points off of a shot. But I'm sure if they did get fouled and stepped to the charity stripe, they wouldn't mind that either. Dean Balo over to Grant Jacobs. Jacobs fakes the handoff to Fenn. Instead, opting for Balo, dishing it in to Christian Green. And a good move by Christian Green. Tigers up 43-28.
Green working very effectively off the ball right now. Seen him go to the basket off a few really nice cuts. That time just elevating over the top of the defense. He has 9 for Trinity.
Trinity off to the races once again off the missed shot. Dean Balo gets denied by Johnny Olmsted. So Coleman dishing it to Juarez. Juarez can't hit the layup. So now it is a 2-on-2. It's put up, not put in for Trinity, but an offensive rebound by Zach Fenn, swatted away, but it's going to be a shooting foul. Number 20, Grayson Herr, a new face on the court for the Tigers, got a shot at it. And then Zach Fenn with the rebound draws the foul off of TJ Williams.
The line for 2 is Zach Fenn.
And the Crew in a scoring drought of their own, about 2 minutes. Zach Fenn sinks the first free throw.
And on our box score, it looks like that last foul went against Olmsted, which, based on that replay, it looked like Williams came over, got that one blocked pretty cleanly. I think it was the body of Olmsted that was just impeding Finn's ability to leave the ground a little bit. I think the referees reported that one correctly.
Dishing it in to Williams. Williams, Tigers wanted to travel. Shot will not fall for Johnny Olmsted. Now Herr having to deal with the freshman, hands it over to a freshman of the Tigers. Balo up to Zach Fenn. Fenn gets it in to Christian Green, spin move. That one rolls in. Timeout on the floor as Christian Green flashing his signature spin move against another player wearing 2, Marcus Juarez, to get the points.
And Juarez really doing all that he can to defend Christian Green on the block throughout this entire first half. That time, Christian Green looked to the referee, thought he got hit a little bit, but despite that, he found a way to just put that up on the glass, on the rim. He got a little bit of a kind bounce, and with just over a minute left here in San Antonio, Trinity now ahead by 18. They've put up 46 already here in the first.
An 8-0 run over the last 2 minutes, 30 seconds has helped them balloon their lead a little bit. Could potentially go up by 20 as both teams back on the court. Juarez and the Crew trying to find some answers. They've gone cold for now. Zach Olmsted over to his brother Johnny Olmsted. Johnny Olmsted gets it to Coleman. Kelton Coleman back to Johnny Olmsted. Johnny Olmsted trying to drive it in the paint at the elbow right now. Instead, over to Coleman. Coleman will try it on his own. wisely waits, but unfortunately the shot doesn't go his way. Christian Green off to the races, one-on-one, and that one won't fall. Rebound for the Crew. And these bouts between Christian Green and Marcus Juarez have been entertaining to watch. Johnny Olmstead with the spin move of his own, loses the ball, picked up by his brother. Zach Olmstead off the iron, kept alive by TJ Williams. Williams in the paint, loses the ball, and Tigers will have another turnover go their way.
And Christian Green couldn't find the lane to the basket in transition just a moment ago, but a presence in the lane on the defensive end, very disruptive right there, knocking that one out of Williams' hands, who couldn't recover it in time.
Now Zach Fenn defers to Christian Green. Jacob Harvey, quick three. That one does go in! Buzzer beater for the Tigers to end the half. 49-28, ending it on a three. Jacob Harvey, who getting the benefit of a nice bounce off the rim, but an electric first half for the Tiger offense.
And a great finish to it right there. Just a great set to get Harvey wide open. He had plenty of time. So frequently in this half, we saw him running off screens, trying to get open. The University of Dallas doing a great job for the duration of that period of just running him off, remaining right there on his hip. He got a little bit too much contact on the screens right there, and Harvey, with a little bit more time to get that one off, proved to be all he needed. Got the shooter's touch at the end of it, and an exclamation mark on that half for the Tigers.
A very good first half for Trinity. And for Trinity, it's been a great first half. Josh.
Yeah, great first half from Trinity. I think one of the biggest things was the fact that they have 49 points. It kind of just snuck out of hand.
And we're going to send it down to Caleb Reed. Caleb having Coach Smith with him on the court. We'll hear from him.
Yeah, so first off, thank you, Coach Smith. So great first half overall. It was really a first half that was sort of defined by streaks and runs. What sort of changed after the slow start to the half?
Yeah, I mean, I thought early on they were really hurting us with offensive rebounds. You know, even the first possession, I think they got 3. So once we were able to limit them to one shot, we were able to get out in transition and get some good looks. Got them in a little bit of foul trouble, so we were able to get to the free throw line and kind of extend the lead a little bit.
And so with a lead like this, what do you typically tell the team going into a halftime like this? Is it more just like keep on doing what you're doing, or are there still adjustments to be made?
Yeah, I mean, we still have to make some adjustments. They're a team that they got a lot of offensive firepower, so we got to make sure that we continue to do a good job of taking away their threes and then limiting them to one shot, which is kind of the name of the game for us from the start. So just doing more of the same.
All right, awesome, Coach. Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Thank you, Caleb. Tigers up 49-28. We will take about a 13-minute break and be back on the Tiger Network for some great SCAC basketball. It's the same starting five both ways here to start the second half here in Calgar Gym. Tigers up 49-28 over UD. And Luke, we really saw a very nice offensive showing for the Tigers in the first half, but we also saw some really good defense from the Tigers as well.
Yeah, and that's really the catalyst for this team. Everything starts on that end of the court. It feels like a real emphasis all season long for them, and it's turned into a lot of success on the offensive end. That's exactly what we saw. 49 points in the half, nothing to shy away from. Just a very steady effort, really the duration of that period. All of a sudden, you look up after 20 minutes were over, and it was a 21-point game, and Trinity was halfway almost to that century mark.
And now Tanner Brown over to Millhouse, down to Harvey, trying to dish it into Green, finds him. Christian Green in the paint. That one off the front of the rim, rebound by UD, getting it over to Jack Boyle. Boyle down to Zach Olmstead. Olmstead letting UD get set, having to contend with Harvey. Gets the pass over to Juarez. Juarez up to Johnny Olmstead. Thought about a three, thought better of it. Johnny Olmstead down to his brother, Jamal Leftwich. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Jack Boyle getting it over to Johnny Olmstead. That one won't fall, but Jamal Leftwich with the offensive rebound. Olmstead into Boyle. Boyle working against Barry. And Barry, the ball's in the air, and Jack Boyle getting his own rebound. So good job by Jack Boyle. Jamal Leftwich back down to Zach Olmstead. Zach Olmstead dishing it in to Jamal Leftwich. Leftwich up to Boyle. Boyle trying to take it, passes it back to Zach Olmstead. Another close shot clock there. It's going to be a shot clock violation, so Tiger ball.
Yeah, just scrambling defense from this Trinity side to open up the second half. Bodies everywhere, just closing down those driving lanes really, really well. But back on the court to start this half, both Leftwich and Boyle got in some foul trouble early on. They didn't play as much as you're typically used to seeing, but Green continuing the strong offensive showing that he had in the first half. That right there will give him 13 to lead all scorers. And he'll have another one pinning at the line. Just a great burst to get by Juarez. Boyle waiting for him at the rim, but wasn't able to elevate to compete with Green, who finished right over the top of him.
We've seen Green fly many times this year. And now Johnny Olmstead up to his older brother, Zach Olmstead, conducting the offense. Hands it off to his younger brother, to Jamal Leftwich. Thought about a three, but Millhouse with the good defense makes him think twice. It'll be a Tiger ball on another turnover. Dallas, 12 turnovers now. Really need to clean that up against a Tiger team that is very opportunistic.
And Trinity doing a nice job, not just of staying in front, but also making these entry passes really, really difficult. Braxton Berry, the one that was challenging on the post right there, and that ball ultimately ended up out of bounds.
And another acrobatic play by Christian Green puts the Tigers up 54-28. Jack Boyle can't get the layup. Christian Green with the ball again. Decides to drive it in over to Jacob Millhouse. Millhouse over to Tanner Brown. And Tanner Brown goes around and in. So timeout on the floor as Trinity just comes out of the gates on fire once again. They go up 56-28. Coach Grahn calling a timeout before the Tigers can go up by 30.
What a fantastic final play before that timeout. Millhouse with a nice in and out dribble to get past his defender, and then looked like he was going to make that long skip pass. He had that ball up over his head, and then just kind of the change of pace on it. Tanner Brown finding himself wide open on that block. Took something off of it, and it was wide open for that layup.
We'll head back down to our sideline reporter, Caleb Reed. Caleb, what are you seeing to start off the second half?
Remember how I said earlier how the Dallas players aren't really getting flustered, aren't really getting out of sorts? they definitely are now after the halftime break and after this big run that Trinity has gone on, not just to end the first half, but also to start the second one. It does appear that some of the Trinity players are starting to sort of get into their heads a little bit, and it's becoming a lot more difficult for them to sort of hold back the emotions a little bit. Apologies about the noise. I'm right underneath the scoreboard. But yeah, Trinity is definitely remaining the more calm of the two schools at the moment, and it is really showing both down here on the court and also in terms of the play, as I'm sure that you guys are seeing.
Thank you, Caleb. This Tiger team trying to go up by 30. Dallas need to make an inbounds against a pressing Tiger squad. Able to get some space, but the ball is thrown away. So really good position for Trinity now, as they are essentially inbounding it on their own side of the court. Harvey will look for Tanner Brown. He finds him. Brown dishing it in to Braxton Berry. Berry trying to work it against Boyle. That one will be won by Boyle with some good defense. And now Gunton Coleman coming on for UD, the promising freshman. Boyle dishes it in to Olmstead, but good defense by Christian Green. Ball hit up in the air and over to Christian Green. Just Zach Olmstead to beat, takes the layup. Some great plays by the Tigers, finished off by Christian Green to put them up by 30.
And great job. He went right at the defender. There was a lot of contact there. Nothing called. He finished despite that. Great job running out in transition. Jacob Harvey pressuring the defense as well. He was wide open in a corner.
And absolutely slammed home by Christian Green. We've seen him do it time and time again, and he is just so athletic every single time.
Yeah, not the first time that we've seen the two of them connect, but that one incredibly impressive. A long lob from outside the three-point line that Jacob Harvey threw right there, put it exactly where Christian Green wanted it, and he did the rest.
You really see him fly right there. And I'm sure the Tigers last year weren't doing plays like that. And when Schreiner came here and they saw Camden Ross just taking balls that got chucked up to him and slamming them home, I'm sure they were thinking to themselves, we want to do that as well. And they've been perfecting that move. And some tough inbounding for UD. They get the ball back this time, but may not be so fortunate next time. Timeout on the floor as the Tigers up 60-28, as right now things are looking very bleak for the Crusaders.
Yeah, and it was some pretty solid play in that first half from the University of Dallas. Trinity just continued to play even better themselves. I think one of the big things, a number to note so far in this game, is the fact that Trinity has just taken care of the ball so well. Just 2 turnovers as opposed to those 13 for the University of Dallas. It's not an egregiously high number or anything like that, but Trinity has just been very efficient. They've taken care of the basketball. They've turned it into points. And they've just steadily grown this lead to a point where it's now up 32. Even with 16 minutes left, it feels like this one's pretty much out of hand.
And another impressive stat is that Dallas, they're 100% from the free throw line, but they've only taken 1 free throw, that and one that Jack Boyle had, what feels like a whole long time ago, has been their only trip to the charity stripe. The Tigers have been very clean. No shooting fouls, other than that one against Jack Boyle.
Yeah, great job of defending without contacting or fouling the opposing players so far. We've seen a lot of drives to the rim from this Crusaders squad. It hasn't been a lack of attempts or anything like that. It's just been a very disciplined approach from these Trinity Tigers defensively, keeping themselves upright when they're defending right around the rim.
And the crew able to inbound it. Cristofano Jr. hands it up to number 10, to Thomas Fleming. That shot won't go for Fleming. That one hit off TJ Williams. Good thinking from the Tigers as they will head back down the court with possession of the ball. Barry trying to drive it in, trying to get the pass over to Christian Green, but it will just sail into the Tiger bench. Some chatter between the Tigers about what went wrong there. Fleming to inbound it, gets it to Pisana. Now, Cristofano Jr. gets pickpocketed by Jacob Harvey. Easy layup for him.
Great job from Harvey right there, just playing that passing lane to perfection. A couple times now here in this press, Christian Green nearly came away with that one. Unfortunately fouled and back under the basket off the ground before he took that dribble was Michael Kennedy, so he'll get tagged with the travel right there and turn the ball back over to the Tigers.
And I believe this is the first time in the game where we haven't seen a single Dallas starter out on the court. 5 fresh faces for the Crusaders as they bring in number 4, Kaden DiSaro. Now Trinity with their starting 5 looking to put up some more points. And that one trying to nutmeg TJ Williams was Millhouse. Unfortunately, didn't get it through the legs. The Crusaders driving it down quick. Number 22 taking a shot for the Crew. That one won't fall. Christian Green with the board. That was Jackson Miles with the 3-point attempt. And Green taking it by himself. And the foul will be on TJ Williams. So Tigers get to inbound.
Probably a wise decision right there. Didn't look like there was anyone under the basket for the Crusaders. Christian Green was going with a full head of steam. He was knocked off balance just enough so he couldn't rise up and throw one home.
Speaking of Christian Green, trying to work it against TJ Williams, and he does it with perfection. That spin move is just a killer every single time, it seems.
And Williams doing all that he could right there as Christian Green comes away with another steal, going baseline and not finishing that one. Looked like it was going to roll in, but instead just dropped off the rim. He's just everywhere on the court right now.
The Crew thought they were going to get an open shot, but the Tiger defense remaining firm. Driving it in, the ball is fumbled. Braxton Berry trying to get it out of the hands of the Crusaders, but instead it's going to be an open 3. That one will go. Jackson Miles hits a triple for the Crew, just their second of the day so far. Tanner Brown driving it in the paint, will draw the foul.
And impressive right there from Tanner Brown, somehow getting that ball back in his left hand, kind of contorting his body to put that up on that left side of the rim. Really creating the contact and forcing the issue.
Brown's first free throw attempt doesn't go. He gets another shot at it though. Now in for the Crew, Kelton Coleman comes back on the court along with another 11. That's Terrence Bryant, freshman out of Sugar Land, Texas. So now Dallas digging into the bench, perhaps to just get some young players, some good experience. And now 65-31 as Tanner Brown goes 1 for 1 from the free throw line. Tanner Brown heads back to the bench. Zach Fenn, Dean Balo, Abdullah Roberts, Ty Williams, and Grayson Herr. Complete line change for the Tigers. Now Kelton Coleman back to Miles. Miles to Coleman. Coleman working against a young Tiger squad. Defers it to Miles. Back to Coleman. And Miles. It's going to be another turnover for the Crew as the pass from number 15, Caleb Sanders, freshman out of Houston, Texas, goes wide of Miles.
Yeah, and even this second unit in there after that line change, retaining that same type of pressure on the defensive end, playing passing lanes right there. Roberts disruptive enough that it forced that one a little wide of its target.
Herr goes over to Ty Williams, back to Grayson Herr. Herr with the shot. That one rolls out. Crew able to rebound it. Ball a little out in the open. Kelton Coleman can't get the layup, but the putback will draw a foul. Number 4 for Dallas, Caden DeSaro, will be the one to take the free throws. Junior out of McKinney, Texas. DeSaro. First free throw. Off the front of the rim. Trinity still up 65-31. And McKinney. D2 football championship was played today. 1 for 1 goes DeSaro. Trinity to Abdullah Roberts, trying to get to Zach Fenn on the other side. Fenn drives it in himself and gets the nice layup, 67-32. Tigers doubling up the Crew right now.
That one all starting with that pass cross court from Roberts. Just great vision. A little bit low for Finn to catch and shoot, but really shifted the defense. They were all running out at him. He was able to attack off of that and blow by the defender real quickly. Nice job of finishing at the rim once he got there.
Abdullah Roberts punched the ball out, so the Crew will have another opportunity to get a pass in. UD looking for some momentum heading out of Calgary Gym at this point. Trying to step in, but forced out by Zach Fenn. Fenn nearly making the Crusaders fumble the ball. Gun Coleman, a bit too high. It's going to be a shot clock violation on the Crusaders as Bennett DeSaro couldn't break the defense of Zach Fenn. Timeout hits the floor. We'll send it down to Caleb Reed on the floor. Nearly 3/4 into this game. Caleb, what's the status report?
Well, at the moment, it is all smiles down here on the bench, despite some of the players being fatigued, the starters, of course, having been in since the start of the half. Despite all that, you know, there are smiles, they're cracking jokes, they are really enjoying this game so far, as they should with this big lead at the moment, but there is not a single bit of stress going on right now for these players or Coach Smith here on the sideline of the Trinity team. Haven't been able to go over to the Dallas sideline, mainly because, you know, I don't want to get yelled at for potentially spying on them. But so far on the Trinity sideline, at least, everything is A-okay.
Thank you, Caleb. And Luke, I think one of the bigger stat lines here is from beyond the arc. Trinity 7 for 14, UD 2 for 14. It's just been a whole another world for the Tigers between them and UD from beyond the arc.
And it started really early on, too, is probably one of the biggest things to note. Millhouse made his first couple of attempts from beyond the arc. Tanner Brown added in. So very quickly, Trinity had 4 within probably the first 10 minutes of time on the court. And it was much slower start from deep for University of Dallas. Kind of similar to what we saw in that game against Austin College yesterday. Trinity doing a nice job with the pressure defensively, really forcing those shots from the outside. They're not coming on kickouts. It's really the only thing that these opposing offenses have had.
Abdullah Roberts able to snag it out of the air. Loses the ball, though. But a double dribble is going to give the Tigers the ball back. Jackson Miles a little stunned at the call. So Tigers get the benefit of the double dribble. Steve Balo able to inbound it to Zach Fenn. Balo takes the open 3. That one rattles off the rim. But Ty Williams trying to get the layup. Unable to. Her for 3. That one no good. And it's going to be a foul on the Tigers. They had a couple of opportunities, but none of them ultimately falling.
And still great effort out of this group right now. Ty Williams creating a second chance opportunity. Things remaining very stout on the defensive end as well. Grayson Herr and Zach Finn playing up top. And this 2-3 Each of those guys playing in those forward positions in the bottom of this zone, willing to help out up top a little bit.
And another turnover for the Crew. Make that number 19 on the day so far. Certainly been another big stat line between Trinity and UD. Balo having to contend with Miles as the Crew still giving it their all. Williams down to Rook. Carter Rook passing it over to Balo. Balo thought about a three, instead drives it in. Rook takes the three. That one off the rim and able to be rebounded by Caden DeSaro of UD. That one put up and put in by Kelton Coleman.
But very quickly, Trinity coming back down the other way. Abdullah Roberts a little bit off balance on that attempt. Not sure which Crusader it was trying to get their hand in there. I think they got it on the ball just enough to slow him down, force him off, and ultimately create that miss.
Now, UD looking for some more. Put up the Crew. X and Miles down to Kelton Coleman. Coleman. Crew staying beyond the arc, but now Miles trying to drive it in. Spin shot. Doesn't fall. Whistle blown, however.
And they'll get Abdullah Roberts on the box out right there. Unfortunate. It looked like he was in good position. There was no push or anything like that, unfortunately. DeSaro had just left his feet already, and typically, as DeSaro knocks that one down from the corner off that baseline, inbounds, a nice shot.
Driven in by her. Draws the foul, so more shots from the charity stripe for Trinity, and they've done a very good job this half defensively, outscoring the Crew 18-9. Crew haven't reached double digits nearly 10 minutes into the second half. First shot from her. It's a swish, so 68-37. Her, the senior out of Farmington, Connecticut. Probably the furthest away from home out of everybody here on the court. And he sinks both of them, 69-37 now. This is a Tiger team that scores a little over 80 points per game. Kelton Coleman, the quick three. That one hits the inside of the rim and bounces out. Abdullah Roberts able to rebound it. Balo driving it through. Steps back out, trying to get it to Roberts. The Crew being aggressive with their defense now. And Dean Balo keeps it himself. Gets the pass over her. Off the rim, right into the hands of number 11, Terrence Bryant. Jump ball will go in favor of the Crew. Or quote unquote jump ball anyways. Don't actually jump for it. I'll never get over that. And now Bryant loses the ball. Rook, great pickpocket there. Tries to get the underhanded layup, doesn't go. A bit too much height from the UD defenders. Now shot from three. That one doesn't fall. And now Rook and the Tigers quickly moving. Ty Williams, a good pass to him. That one doesn't fall though. Williams gets the ball back, and that one will be an and one for Ty Williams. Tigers will break the 70 barrier. We'll have a chance for an and one.
And just so much effort out of Ty Williams right here. Was challenged on his first attempt. The ball batted out towards the sideline, outside the three-point line. He went, chased down his own miss, gathered himself, got back to the basket, and finished through the contact. Really the story of the weekend for Ty Williams. Just a great motor on him.
Now Bryant down to Coleman, and Miles with the quick three. That one not going. Her having to contend with Coleman. Gets it over to Roberts. Roberts with the nice lay. Good job by Abdullah Roberts. Now Kelton Coleman And the Crew trying to get another bucket of their own. That one goes in for Thomas Fleming, the freshman out of Carlsbad, California. Herr puts it up. That one off the back of the iron. 74-39 the score. UD gets it to Fleming. Fleming just too low of an arc on that shot. Hits the bottom of the rim. Balo trying to fancily dribble, maybe a bit too fancy. Some tough defense from Miles, forcing Balo to defer to Williams. Roberts in the arc, in the paint now. Foul will be called, or rather, timeout's going to be called along with the foul. And right now, Trinity having a very comfortable lead, 74-39. They're shooting well. They're rebounding fairly well, although Dallas has been winning the rebound game for nearly the entire game. The Tigers have certainly caught up as they were down by a pretty good margin at the end of the first half. So really a great second half overall for Trinity.
Yeah, and this one realistically has been well in hand for the Tigers for much of this second half. One thing that you touched on briefly though, Reed, was for this Dallas side, trying to take anything with them out of Calguard Gym. Not going to get the win, but seeing what momentum you can gather. They obviously have a new unit out there on the court, some much younger players getting the chance to showcase what they have. Whatever they can take away as a positive will be important. Something we saw out of Austin College last night. Of course, they struggled from three, as we talked about earlier, but Jackson Rennie really got going from beyond the arc in the last 10 minutes of the game. Knocked down what felt like 5 or 6 threes in just that span. So any similar takeaway for the University of Dallas would be a win over this last 7 minutes and 39 seconds.
Austin College playing Schreiner right now. Down 64-56 against the Mountaineers. Mountaineers, the other team in the men's basketball side of the SCAC that is undefeated in conference right now, making that next matchup in January, where the Mountaineers will come here, that much more enticing. Rook with the ball for the Tigers. Carter Rook driving it into the paint, gets the pass over to Capellish. Capellish will draw the foul, and Capellish, the player yesterday with the emphatic dunk to end things off against Austin College. I'm sure looking to make some noise in this one as well.
Yeah, nice drop step and then just rising up over the top as his defender to slam it home. An emphatic end to that game.
1 for 1 from the free throw line. Whistle blown. It's going to be called on, I believe, Abdullah Roberts. Indeed it is. So UD working it back down. Fleming gets it in to Bryant. Bryant out to DeSaro. Bryant, Terrence Bryant with the reverse layup and the and one. A nice one for the Crew. Flashy play. Terrence Bryant, freshman out of Sugar Land, Texas. It's a tough play to make, but he made it.
Yeah, great job navigating down low, using the baseline, then getting his defender up off his feet. A really impressive finish to kiss that one up off the glass, despite all of the contact that was there.
Rook handing it over to Capellish. Capellish tries to dunk it, and he does! Another highlight play from Capellish. Now, UD trying to respond, but what a momentum shifter for Trinity.
Yeah, and a great take by Capellish right there. I talked to some guys on the court after the game last night. They were impressed with how quickly he elevates, and you can see it from that angle right there. All of a sudden, he's all the way up at the rim, slamming it home.
Herr drives it in, over to Capellish. Capellish puts it up, off the backboard, won't go in. And now, UD looking for a response. Bryant, another attempt at an underhanded lay. We'll get a call against them, however. Tiger ball. as Fleming came in a bit too wild.
And some players for both squads trying to check in. They finally will. There's a little bit of a delay at the table.
New face for the Crusaders, Zach McGriff, freshman out of Maitland, Florida. Now Rook. Ball goes down at the three-point arc to Grant Jacobs. Jacobs back to Rook. Rook trying to drive it in. Fumbles the ball a little bit, trying to get it back, but ultimately a takeaway for the Crusaders. And now post up. That one rolls out. Some bad luck for number 20, Aaron Pisana. Will maintain Tiger possession there as Pisana last minute touched that one. Two new players on the court for the Tigers. Nate Thompson, the 6'9" junior out of Austin, Texas. And Abdullah Roberts' brother, Salim Roberts, 6'4" freshman out of Houston, Texas. Trying to get the ball in over to Rook. Good inbound by Zach Austin. Carter Rook working around Thompson, puts up the three. That one touching the top, a little bar above the net. Whistle will be blown there.
And one thing that's been really impressive for Trinity the last couple of days is this unit that's gotten on the court. Of course, we've talked about the fact that they're remaining stout on the defensive end as we see right now, but there's no shortage of talent able to fill it up on the offensive side of the floor. There's another nice stop right there, and it leads to this run out being led by Zach Austin.
Salim Roberts draws the foul. We'll see who they tag that to. Put that one on Thomas Fleming. Had to see who it was because TJ Williams has 4 personal fouls, so one more, and that'll be the end of the day for him. It's number 12 for UD. First free throw for Salim. Doesn't fall, but he gets another shot at it. 77-42 the score right now. Trinity with a comfortable enough lead. UD with a 2-minute scoring drought right now. And Roberts goes 1 for 1 at the free throw line. So Salim Roberts extends the Tiger lead, 78-42. Fleming hands it up to his teammate. Back down to Fleming. Fleming trying to work it in. A tough Tiger defense, however. Fleming will take a shot from 3 off the iron. And a rebound for Salim Roberts. And a great pass. Zach Austin gets pickpocketed, however, by TJ Williams. 1-on-1. And the layup attempt is no good. And ultimately a takeaway for the Tigers. Carter Rook, 1-on-1, draws the foul. Number 23, Zach McGriff, defending there, can't get it. A couple of attempts by Caleb Sanders didn't go for UD. And now just more opportunities for the Tigers to extend their lead.
Yeah, and the entire second half, really, they've continued to pressure and attack the basket. This free throw deficit or disparity continuing to grow. Rook knocking down that first one right there. These will be the 23rd and 24th free throw attempts for Trinity on the evening, compared to just 4 that Dallas has taken all game.
Dallas down 80-42, wanting to gain any sense of momentum. A nice shot there, 80-44 now. Capellish with the ball in his hands. Gets it over to Nate Thompson, the 6'9" ball player. And he get off to Zach Austin. Austin drives it in the paint. Over to Rook. Rook for 3. That one off the rim. Capellish able to get the rebound. But a travel called on Capellish.
Yeah, in a tough spot Capellish found himself in right there. Kind of gaining possession just ahead of that half-court line. Didn't really have the time or space to put a dribble down unless he was going to commit a backcourt violation. Did all that he could to save it to his teammate. Unfortunate for him, got called with that travel violation.
And we will send it down once again to Caleb Reed. Caleb, what are we seeing in the final minutes here?
Well, one thing that I noticed while looking over the live stats, and one thing that y'all have seen all throughout this second half, Dallas has really struggled to get the ball in. They are 6 of 25 on field goals in this second half alone, and that's the reason why this score, why this lead for Trinity is as big as it is. Trinity has been able to shoot, they've been able to get the ball down, and Dallas just hasn't. But also, going back a little bit to those big couple of dunks that we saw, of course by Christian Green being the biggest one. The sideline just absolutely exploded in excitement, and it is really great to see the entire team getting into it, even if they aren't on the court, still being able to impact the game and provide a lot of electricity.
Thank you, Caleb. 3 minutes, 47 seconds left. And like we were saying before, Luke, the clean play from the Tigers, they've been in the double bonus for a while. Meanwhile, Dallas, not even in the single bonus yet. It's been very clean play by the Tiger defense, especially impressive from these younger players. And UD handed over to Fleming, and another turnover for the Tigers.
Yeah, huge difference in this one. Disparity in fouls and disparity in turnovers. That's now 23 for the University of Dallas, just 9 for Trinity. So they've played really clean basketball in a couple of ways this afternoon. Not fouling, taking care of it as well on offense.
TJ Williams can't get the layup. It's up in the air, and who else is going to get it but the 6'9" Nate Thompson trying to drive it on his own. It's going to be a foul. So Zach Austin will get an opportunity for some more free throws. 80-44 is the score. About 3 minutes left here, left in this one. And Trinity looking to leave this weekend unscathed yet. One of about 18 teams that are still undefeated in Division III, as the first free throw is no good.
Yeah, not just the great start in SCAC play, but you hinted at it, that perfect record so far this year with what Coach Smith believes is a pretty difficult conference and non-conference schedule that they've faced to this point. Obviously opening up their conference play on the road with games at Southwestern and Texas Lutheran. But outside of that, a couple of really solid teams from the region, and Claremont Mudd Scripps, who was ranked at the time that they played. And of course, a Mary Hardin Baylor team and Hardin Simmons teams, which is both really impressive over the last several seasons.
Crew will get to inbound. Trying to find an open player. Find Fleming. Thomas Fleming drives it in himself and will draw the foul. And I think they're going to tag Carter Rook on that one. They will. So now Dallas finally in the bonus. So Thomas Fleming will get the 1-and-1.
It's felt like it's just been the longest half of basketball we've seen all year. A lot of fouls, a lot of free throws being shot, as that one well off the mark because of the contest of Jacobs, as he's going to get a lob here too. And somehow making the acrobatic grab in midair and finishing. Wasn't the best pass in the world, but he worked really well with it despite that.
Nate Thompson, big man, can do some acrobatics as well. Rook handing it up to Zach Austin. Austin fumbles it for a second, but gets it back to Rook. Carter Rook having to deal with the defense of Jackson Miles. Miles over to Nate Thompson. Thompson can't put it in from short range. Minute 44 left. Quick drive. That one doesn't fall, but offensive rebound for the Crew. Fleming trying to drive it in, kicks it out. The three attempt falls, and a good three for Aaron Pisana, junior out of Odom, Texas. And a good interception by Fleming now, as the Crew trying to pick up some momentum on their way out of San Antonio. So some quick points for UD is now 84-49. Roberts drives it in, hesitates, can't put it in, and it's punched out to Nate Thompson. And we'll see where they point. It's going to remain Tiger ball with about a minute left.
And Reed, I'm not entirely sure when the last time we saw a starter in this game was for either of these sides, really, but it's been quite a while for Trinity. Despite that, another very solid offensive outing with 84 points on the board and the chance to add some more right here. Defensively, again, just continuing to improve on that end of the court. Just 49 so far as that one rims out just barely. And we'll see some more free throws here as this one well in hand, under a minute left to play. Number 23, Zach McGriff, is going to head to the free throw line. Mentioned the improvement, of course, defensively for Trinity, their best showing of the year last night, and then all of a sudden they turn around and they improve on that here today. McGriff with that makes it 50 on the evening for Dallas, leaving that one a little bit short though.
And the Tigers have attempted 26 free throws, one of the reasons why this game has felt so long. Roberts loses the ball for a second. Rook able to recover. Nate Thompson puts it up and just takes the easy layup. The big man makes it 86-50 with about 27 seconds left. No more shot clock. UD still acting quick though. It's tipped up and still up. Capellish with the ball now. Gets it over to Salim Roberts. Puts it up. Can't put it in. Nate Thompson will be fouled. So Salim Roberts smiling to himself, wanted a flashy play to end it off, but instead we will get some free throws from the big man.
I wanted another exclamation mark to end this one off. Unfortunately for the first year, lost it a little bit on the way up.
Nate Thompson, first free throw. Does not go. So Thompson will get another one. Second shot for Thompson. That one goes. 87-50, likely the final score here in Calguard Gym. The Crew are likely either going to run this one out or take one more attempt at it. They'll take another attempt. That one goes. About 3 seconds left. 87-52. As the clock hits 0, an impressive win for the Tigers as they crush the Crusaders 87-52 to continue their impressive win streak. In just a little bit, we will send it down to Caleb Reed, but for the moment, we'll look at some of the stats until they are ready down there. Christian Green with 22 points, very impressive. And look, it was just a great overall game for the Tigers.
Yeah, everything really starting on the defensive end of the floor, creating a lot of chaos on that side, leading to some turnovers. And then Trinity got out and ran the way that they're accustomed to, the way they really want to, and they turned it into a lot of points, grabbed a great advantage early in this one, and then really never looked back.
Never looked back indeed. Christian Green led in points with 22. Braxton Berry had 8 rebounds. And getting to see all the young faces, very promising for this Tiger squad as they prepare to host a little invitational. We'll get into that a little bit after the on-court interview, as we just wait for a moment for them to get set up. But Trinity getting to host a little winter break Leslie Robinson Holiday Classic. They will play, and we will send it down to Caleb Reed, who has some special guests to interview.
Yeah, so I'm here with Christian Green. You led the team in terms of points, both this game, but also you're currently leading the points per game for Trinity so far this season. So what are sort of your thoughts on the success that you've had so far this year?
First, we just come out and we just kind of play as a team as a night, and I just let the game come to me. But my teammates, they do a great job in trying to find me and look for me and kind of get me the ball to trying to get me going, because I bring a lot of energy, so that helps. When I'm going, the team is going, so that just kind of helps bring us and lifts us up.
Yeah, and so you made the highlight reel a couple of weeks ago.
In the NBA?
You made the highlight reel a couple of weeks ago against Mary Hardin Baylor with that huge dunk. Had another big one here. So what's sort of been the secret behind you being able to just elevate and create those sort of plays?
First, it starts with shout out to Daniel, strength and conditioning. He's been helping us basically in the weight room. So, and then just me and my teammates being able to communicate and just knowing where each other are on the court. So, yeah.
Awesome. And so that's it from me. Congratulations on the great win, and enjoy it.
Thank you.
All right, that's it from me. Trinity gets a fantastic win and cannot wait to do this again sometime.
Thank you, Caleb. We appreciate your reporting on the sidelines for the Tigers. Leslie Robinson Holiday Classic coming up on December 20th. They will play Washington and Lee at 2 o'clock here in CalGuard Gym. And then on Thursday, they will play the University of Chicago. They improved to 9-0 on the season. Meanwhile, for UD falling to 3-8, they will go on the road to play at Hendricks on December 20th. So be sure to tune into that one, Crusaders fans. But until then, we will take about a 22-minute break until the Trinity basketball women and the women's basketball team of University of Dallas are ready to take the floor for some more great scaction on the Tiger Network. For Luke Terry, everybody in the control room, Caleb Reed, I am Reed Rosales, and if you're not tuning in again, I wish you a good evening.